It's actually a miracle that this boat exists at all. It had sat for years in a marina when Hurricane Irma made a direct hit, and every single boat in that marina was destroyed except for this one.
When we pulled her out of the water, she was a disaster. She was covered stem to stern with barnacles, and we counted over 900 blisters from the size of a quarter to the size of a softball.
And as bad as the hull was, the inside of this boat was an even bigger disaster. There was a part of us that thought, we actually have to be insane to be taking on this project.
Most definitely.
This boat had been built in the 70s by a famous MIT naval architect named Henry Scheel. He wanted to build a boat that even moderately experienced sailors could sail in even the most trying conditions. Thus was born the Scheel 45. Only 6 were built, and they received numerous accolades as one of the greatest blue water production sailboats ever made.
So it was nice to see it come into some new hands that really wanted to take care of a classic design. Scheel was such a great designer and builder that it was nice to see some boats back that you actually enjoy working on. So it was a real treat.
So we finally scraped all the barnacles off the hull. Now we need to bleed the hull. The boat is out of the water. It is literally baking in the Florida summer sun so that the hull expands and contracts so water weeps out of the blisters. That took about 5 months.
All right, so where are we heading?
Middle of nowhere in Florida. Apparently, it's only one of 2 places in the country that can create a new rudder.
Hey, what's wrong with the rudder?
Totally saturated water. It sat in the water for 5 years, never moving. It just soaked in all that water.
Fortunately, we had found a family business that had been building rudders for 3 generations and had one of the last molds for a Scheel 45.
Great, but now we don't have an engine. Well, we have an engine, but it's a 40-year-old tractor engine, and it's a smoke-belching dinosaur.
So out comes the dinosaur, and now we wait months for the new custom engine to show up.
Finally, this thing arrives, and it is beautiful. It is a work of art.
Now, it was just a matter of patching and polishing the hull, itself being a long and meticulous process. Slowly, the beauty of the boat began to reappear. It was a project that required us to rip out over 500 yards of old wiring and replace it with state-of-the-art materials.
It had been over a year since the masts had been removed from the boat. They were stripped, recoated, repainted, and polished.
And finally, it was time for some finishing details. Sometimes we had to fabricate parts ourselves. Now we had to come up with a name. At least that part was easy.
It's an interesting evolution to see it come back and be floating and repowered and starting to look like a yacht again, which is really nice. I appreciate that you guys, came to me and appreciate my point of view and what works for you and what, falls within the realm of safety. And that's a rare trait these days. It's refreshing. You guys have been fantastic to work with. I would definitely do another project again.